Hello you beautiful people. In this tutorial we're gonna cover the basics of Bootstrap. Alright, let's do this. So click on get started here on the getbootstrap.com website, which is their official website. And then go to the starter template here, where we're gonna copy the whole starter template, which is the basic structure of we need for a starter template with Bootstrap styles and scripts inside. Okay, so we basically have the CDN file loaded, and the scripts also, the JavaScript. So I can show you how it looks like. So let's go ahead and copy this link here and paste it just to see how it looks like. So this is plain Bootstrap, okay? These are their classes, this is what they made, and this is predefined, and it's gonna help us and save us a lot of time. So let's close this now, and let's start coding. All right, let's copy this one, create a file, index.html, or call it whatever you want, as long as it's an HTML file, and then paste here this code, and then save. And then refresh. Hello world, this Bootstrap is loaded now, and if you are not sure if it's loaded or not, you can for example type button class button primary. Woo. And then you see the styles of Bootstrap, okay, from these classes. These are their own classes. So if I don't have any styles, then it's gonna look like this. Awesome. So now Bootstrap is loaded, then we are going to start with the navigation. All right, so let's see. Navigation starts like that. All right, we all know that. And we are going to give it an awesome class called navbar, navbar expand LG. LG means large. This is going to be for the screens. So in the large screens, it's going to be it's going to take the whole width. Let's give it a background light and a justify content center. So this is going to give it a background, and this is going to center them in the middle. So the navigation items. Now the navigation usually has the UL, okay, with a list inside. So unordered list with a class navbar nav. Then this contains a list with a class nav item. Remember, navbar nav, a list with a nav item, and then the nav link. It's pretty obvious. But you need to memorize these things, but don't worry. I'm sorry, I did something very wrong here. Class. But don't worry about that. It's easy to remember after a while. Let's call this home. And let's call this, I don't know, projects. It's fine, right? And let's call this contact. There we go. We have 3 elements, but now we see there in the middle. It's because my screen is minimized a bit, but it's we can actually change that. Change the SM, and now it goes because the SM is a smaller screen. Okay. All right. So there we have it. Look how nice it looks, and we haven't done it. We haven't applied any CSS at all. There's no CSS in this. Or it is, but it's Bootstrap CSS. Okay, so now we created a navbar. See how nice it looks. And if we actually inspect here, then it's responsive. Pretty awesome, right? We don't need to do anything. Cool. Okay, so we covered the navigation. We're gonna see what container is. Container is basically a box with margins and smaller width than container fluid. So we have these two containers, normal, container and container fluid. And this is the difference. This container fluid is going to take the whole width, and this is going to take less width, not the whole screen. So if we were to add, let's add something here. Let's add the button or something. Button class button danger. There we go. Whereas if I copy paste this and I add the success, these are all predefined classes, as I said, so you're gonna learn them. They're not so many. And these are used widely, and you can also change the colors. So you see it starts here, this starts here. Now if we minimize the screen, they fall into each other. So that's very good. Yes, so that's the difference between container and container fluid. And you're gonna use this tool a lot when you're using Bootstrap. So you usually put stuff into your containers, okay? It's like a box, a section, a div. It is a div, right? But all right, so let's see what else can we look into. I'm gonna talk about what I know, what I've been using mostly. I haven't used the whole thing, the whole framework, but I have been using the most of these classes and things they provide. And let's go and see the colors, the ones we talked about. Okay, so we have button primary. Okay, copy paste sometimes. I don't remember exactly how many they are, but I remember all of them in how they're called. So primary, secondary. We have info. We have success. We have danger. If we save, isn't it nice? Like I think they look really nice. We have paste, danger, success. We have what else? Button dark, or yes, dark. We have light. We have and warning. Warning, yeah. So I think these are all of them. Maybe muted also, yeah, muted. So we have muted also. So these are maybe there are some more. I'm not 100%, but these are. I think these are enough for now. And check their website here and check you can see the colors. Color, there we go. These are all the colors. Or maybe they have more. But yeah, you can go through this by yourself. It's nice to experiment. Awesome. So these are the colors, and the same colors are used in, for example, if we want for a paragraph. Lorem tab generates a lorem ipsum text. Lorem ipsum is very standard to when we are testing and we want to fill up with some text. Okay, so we're gonna use a class called text primary, and you see it takes this color called primary, and this is nice because we can use it in many places. So if we want to use, for example, span class text danger. You see, so it's pretty useful. All right, so we covered the buttons also. What else do we have to know? Of course, what we have to cover now is the grid. So pay attention now, because this is one of the trickiest, but one of the best things Bootstrap offers. Okay, so let's start with a div. Let's create another class called row. Let's add, and of course we usually add them in containers. Okay, so I'm gonna add one more container here, and I'm gonna wrap this inside it here. Container row, and then we want to add some stuff. Okay, we want to add, for example, div class called md6. What I'm gonna do now is I want to add 2 columns. Okay, so this is the whole the screen. I want to add 2 things. So one thing here on the left and one thing on the right. So grid, Bootstrap uses a 12 grid system. And what I'm saying now is this div should take the space of 6 grids, and the next one should take also the 6. So I'm gonna do this, look. So think about it this way, okay? I don't want to confuse you. This is a row from the beginning to the end, and we have 12 columns. And with the call MD or call SM, this is depending on the screen. Medium, this is medium, stands for medium. We can also have XS, extra small. I'm not sure if this class is still available in Bootstrap 5. You can have LG, XL, SM, so depending on the screen. But now we say in the MD screens have 1.6 column and 1.6. Okay. I know it sounds confusing, but I'm gonna show you what it does. Okay, column 1 and column 2. So what's gonna happen now is this 6 is gonna take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 1 goes here and 2 goes here. And now we want to add more of them. If I add another one, this will go to the next row. So why this is happening? Because we have 6 and 6 equals to 12. Okay, 6, 6, 12. Now if I add, for example, 6 and 2, this is gonna be, all right, 6, 6, 12. Now we start on a new row. So it's gonna be 6 and 2, 8. So this is going to be 6 and this is gonna be 2. And now if I add another 2, it's gonna be in the same row, because 6 and 2 is 8 and 2 is 10. So we basically have space for 2 more. So, and now we have a 12 grid. So your calls should, they can sum up to 12, yeah, grids, or how you call them, columns. Yeah, columns. Okay, this sounds a bit complicated, but it's not so complicated. And I'm gonna show you it in a better way. Remove them and do it this way. Okay, let's start with call MD1. Okay, column 1. Now, what's gonna happen if I add this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times? Gonna go like this, because we have space for 12 columns. Remember, we have 12 always, place for 12. So now this is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's go ahead. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we have 10, 11, 12. Now we have 12. So now we have covered all of this. Now if I add another one, it's gonna be 13. So it's gonna jump to the next row. Look at this. Pooh. So it went underneath because it starts on the next row. So it would be the same thing if we make 6 and 6. It's gonna be 12, so these are gonna be only 2 columns. You understand? 6 and 6. Now it goes to the next one. If I make this 6 and I make this 3, it's gonna be 9. And if I make this 3, it's gonna be 12. 6, 3, 6, 6, and 6, 3, and 3, and then it goes 12, and then starts with a new column. 6, 3, 12, and then it starts with it. So that's how it works. So you can have like, let's say if we want to have, for example, 3 columns, col MDs. I'm using col MD now, just, it doesn't matter. You can use col XS also. Don't pay attention to that right now. It's not the most important thing. Okay, so I want to add 3 columns. So I'm gonna copy paste this 3 times. So this is gonna equal 12. So I'm gonna say something 1. Sorry for that. I don't have anything in mind right now. Something 2, something 3, something 3. Okay, and it didn't work. Why? Because it's not in a row. The row ends here, so we need to create a row. Div class row. We're gonna save, and it still didn't work. So we need to find out why. All right, it's called XS, right? So it's gonna take. Sorry. It's because the XS is not working. They removed it in Bootstrap 5, I think. So let's take MD again. Yeah. So basically, what that would do, XS, is if we had the small screen, it would take 1, 2, 3 columns, because 4, 4, 4 equals 12. 12 consists of 3 columns if they are a 4. Okay, I don't want to confuse you more. But you see here, right? 4, 4, 4, 12. So I have 3 columns and I can add my stuff here. So let's go ahead and add something here. Let's add an alert. Alerts are really nice in Bootstrap. Let's say div class alert. No, let's do it danger. It sounds more, it's better. Be careful, main. And let's copy this and add it to the next grid. And the same here. And again, you see these colors, right? Danger. It's the ones we used here. Danger. Where is it? Here. Danger or text danger. So we can use them multiple times, and we can use many elements with this. So here you just basically add the alert and then alert danger. And it's the same with if you add, for example, button primary. It's the same concept. So don't get confused with that. Just it's the same principles we follow. And let's say this is success passed. And let's say info watch here. Okay, so look how it goes like this. Now if I add another one, it's gonna go to the next row, because it's gonna be 4 and 4, 8, 4 and 4, 8 and 4, 12 and 4, 16. So this is gonna be 4 in the next one row. And then I can add another one, and then I can add another one, and the list goes on. Okay, so if you make this 2, it's gonna take only 2 here, and then we have space for another 2. Awesome, isn't it? So you can do anything. You basically have control over the whole grid system. You don't need to use a CSS grid or Flexbox here. Let's see. So we have the columns, the grids, the rows, the alerts, the buttons. Let's see. The cards are nice. Let's actually let's start here and create a new container and create a row. By the way, if you don't know how to use this abbreviation, it's you write the class you want, row, and then you hit the tab, and then it auto completes, or it adds. Remember, container, inside the container we have a row, this is the row where we will have our columns. So let's have a column 6. So basically the half of the screen. And let's have the card, div class card, div class card body, card body. So now we have a card here, which is very empty. So we're gonna add some, I don't have any image to add, but I'm gonna add some, yeah, I can take one online. All right, so let's see, card body. In the card body, we're gonna have our, card title. Sorry, title. We're gonna have John Doe. We want to have a card text, description, and we want to have maybe a button or something. Yeah. Oops. Button primary. See more. And this is a card and it looks terrible, so we're gonna add an image also. Image class card image, no card image top, source, and that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the image from us plus as usually. Let's get I will get a dog. I have an obsession with animals, so there we go. Now look how nice it looks. We have a card image, we have a, I can make this, sorry, the card body. We don't need any text here. I'm gonna make this H1. There we go, H1. And I'm gonna link the image in the description also. And yeah, we have the description, and we can add the lorem ipsum here. So now we can also add paddings and margins with predefined classes, for example, padding 2, padding 3, padding 4. So now it's gonna add some padding. Now if you wanna see exactly how much padding it has added, padding 4 gives a padding of 1.5 rem. Okay, and we can play with that, of course. But yeah, this is really nice. So we don't need to spend time writing CSS. And yeah, we can also add some margin 2, margin 5, margin 4. We can align it center by writing text center. So you see, you have all these classes, and once you learn them, it's gonna go very, very fast. Now if I remove this, they're gonna be better aligned. So I'm just gonna add padding 4. I think it looks better. Yes, so that's it. We have a card, we have our columns, we have buttons, navigation, alerts. Yes, so let's see also what else. Cards. We have also modals. Modals are my favorite, because they're very easy to use and they require absolutely no time. So they're, yeah. So let's start with the modal. Okay, let's write button class button primary. Let's add database toggle model. This is telling it to toggle a model when we click on it. and this is telling it which model. But don't worry if you don't understand. You will see. I think I have to make this a bit bigger. So I hope you see well now. Okay, so button type button primary. We want a primary button like we seen before, so it's this one. We want it to, when we click it, to toggle a model, and we want this model to be toggled. Now we have this, open my model. So we have this button here, open my model. I'm gonna add some space, or I can do this thing, div class margin top 5, which is gonna give me space 5. Let's see, my model, yes, and then we're going to create the model. Div class model, ID my model. Remember, we told it here to target my model, the element with the ID my model. So now we're gonna add the model dialog, and inside it we're gonna add the model content. This is all the content that goes inside. Inside the content we have a model header, and inside the header we have I don't know, a heading, for example. Heading. We can have also we need a button to close it. Button class button close, and then give it the database dismiss model, which says that this closes the model. Okay, so if I save now and go here and I click on open my model, bang, look at this, we have a model. And if we click somewhere else, it disappears. If we click, it appears. This is the button close, and this is the heading. Awesome, isn't it? And also we can have a model div class model body, where we can have our text, lorem ipsum again. Oh, this lorem ipsum is so nice. It saves us time here. See, so it fills in with text, and the model footer, of course, where we add, and we can also footer, and we can also have one more button here, same, but let's call this a danger. So just copy paste it and give it a danger, and it doesn't say anything, of course, because it's empty. Close me. Okay, so we can add also a button in the footer. So if I go here, we have close me, closes. Awesome, right? We covered the models. Models are very, very useful when you're doing web development. You're going to be using them a lot. Let's see the drop downs also. Okay, let's continue. Let's create a new container. Let's add a drop down. Div class drop down. Okay, button type button class, give it a button primary again, drop down toggle, data ps toggle drop down. So in this case, this is like the same as the model, but we're targeting, we're toggling the drop down, and you will see what the drop down is. I am a drop down button, and this is coming here again. Let's add some space. Div class margin top 5. We have our space. I don't know why this is Why this is not going to the left? It's very weird. Okay, let me see here why it's not. Aha, sorry, of course I have it in a container. I forgot. Let's make it a container fluid. I will make it a container fluid because you see here, I don't want this space. I want to take the whole screen. And we can also add the padding 0, margin 0, save. Now all the margins, the paddings disappeared. If I click on it, nothing happens. Now, this is because we don't have a drop-down menu. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add the drop-down menu, which is gonna be an order list with a drop-down menu, and inside it we're going to add the list elements. A class drop-down item, there we go, and then we want to add, I don't know, write something, again something 1, and something 2, and something 3. Oh, we can also write a link or something. Okay, so now we have a drop-down menu, and yeah, I think that's it. And now you see, this is a drop-down. So let's go to the next element. We can use the tables, div class table. Bootstrap is really nice to use when we want to add the classes for our tables, because they become responsive and they look pretty good. So let's create a simple table. Let's create this div class. Oh, sorry, table class table. You can also div class table, but let's do table class table. And I think that's it. That's enough. Let's add the table head ID, first name. We don't want to add too many things here, no need. And let's add a t-body, and in the t-body we want to have a table row, and then we, I didn't add any, sorry. These should be table headings. So, sorry for that. Table data, and we want to add ID1. First name is gonna be George. We save, and then we have our table. Now I'm gonna add this in a container because it looks very terrible. So we're gonna go to the start, and we're gonna add a container, and I'm gonna add it inside it. So now let's add also some padding, and let's add some margin top. Not 4, because we have so many messy elements. And yeah. So this is our table, and we can have, of course, many more table headings and many more table data. There we go. Yeah. So George ID, and yeah. Wait, what? Table row. Okay. So first name, ID, first name, blah blah blah. So these are our tables, and they look how responsive everything is now. Okay, let's see the responsivity. Projects, contact, everything is responsive. Isn't this amazing? Like, to do this with CSS is gonna take you time. Look at this. And even the table, the table is not very responsive. So the table has a, I think it's called table responsive. Yeah, I will have to check that. Table responsive. I think it's, yeah. Yeah, but we have to, in order to use this one, we have to wrap it in a div. That's why I've been using the div usually. So we add div class table responsive. It's gonna wrap it into a div, and then it's gonna show the rest that overflows. So now we don't have so much data, so not so much to see. But this is it for the tables. I mean, we could go on forever, but I think these are the basics. I'm not sure if I have forget. Let's also see the lists before we close. And I think this is it for now. And then you have to train for yourself, and make sure you spend some time building stuff alone in the beginning. It's very important. Don't just watch tutorials, and try to do things on your own after you watch the tutorial, and build the whole thing by your own. Otherwise you're not going to learn. And I learned this the hard way also, so this is good tips I think for the beginners. Right, copy this, paste, oops, sorry. So we have a list group, and then we have a list group item. Okay, the list is a list group, and it contains the items inside. So it's the same thing as you remember the nav link, nav item, nav link, list group item, second item, and we have two stuff. Well, let's copy paste them, and it looks like this. Amazing, right? Now if I don't use Bootstrap, it's gonna look like this. Okay, you see how it looks. So now if we remove it, it looks much better. So Bootstrap is really nice. You can have you have many things. You have also Jumbotron. You have what else? You have popovers, tooltips, images, classes for the images. We have yeah, I don't have everything in my mind now, but we have a carousel. It's very nice also. But yeah, these are like the most common used, I think. And yeah, I hope that's enough. And I'm gonna upload this code into the GitHub, and then I'm going to add the link into the description along with these images here. This is just a random image. You can add whatever you want, but I'm gonna add it anyway. And thank you much for this tutorial. Thank you much for spending your time with me, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Have a nice day, and make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you very much.